Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football video. Today's video is Week 4 defensive streams. Before I start the video, I'd like to ask you, could please go down below and click that subscribe button, because not only does it help me, it's also going to help you guys dominate your fantasy football season. I create countless videos every single week to help you guys dominate your fantasy football season. Now, I also live stream Thursday before the games, Sunday before the games. It's going to be great. It's going to be amazing. Click that fucking subscribe button. Click that notification bell so that you get all the videos. Let's get right in the video. So the first defense to talk about here is the Jacksonville Jaguars going up against at the Denver Broncos. Now they are 65.1% owned on NFL.com. Now the Broncos are just not good. That should be pretty clear to you. Week 1 against Oakland, 16 points. Week 2 against Chicago, only scored 14 points. Week 3 against Green Bay, only scored 16 points. So what those numbers show me is they scored below 16 points every single game. Joe Flacco is good for an interception or two, potentially against an elite defense like the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jacksonville defense is good. Week 1 against Kansas City, 40 points allowed. I know that may look bad, but they're going up against the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a good offense. The Chiefs are one of the best offenses in the NFL, maybe even the best offense in the NFL. Now, week 2, they played Houston, shut them down to 13 points only. Week 3, up against the Titans on Monday, or on Thursday night, I should say, only 7 points allowed. So I think it gets a terrible quarterback in Joe Flacco. It should be easy pickings for the Jacksonville Jaguars to be a top 3 defense this week. Now, another defense I could see being top 3 is the Houston Texans. Now, they're going up against the Carolina Panthers, 43.1% owned on NFL.com. Now, the Cardinals, not the Cardinals, the Panthers, I should say, are without Cam Newton. Now, Kyle Allen played well against the Cardinals, but their defense really just ain't all that good. The Cardinals' defense ain't that good, and Kyle Allen looked pretty good. But the Texans have a good defense. 10 sacks in 3 games, 5 forced fumbles, and 1 interception. I think that they could play even better than that. J.J. Watt hasn't been doing as well as I thought he would do, and I think he's going to be able to do better this game up against Carolina. Now, the next team to talk about here, this is more of a deep type of sleeper defense, because, same with the next defense, because they're lower owned, and this is the Steelers going up against the Bengals on Monday Night Football. 28.3% owned on NFL.com. Andy Dalton, the Ginger Ninja, has thrown 3 picks in 3 weeks. Is that good? Nah, that's okay for Andy Dalton, but that is good for your defense. He threw 2 picks in one game, 1 in another, 0 in another, and I think the Steelers are one of those teams that will be able to pick the ball off, I should say. The AFC North matchup between them the past 3 years, Steelers have won all 6 games. 6-0. This should be an easy game for the Steelers to beat the Bengals. They've allowed under 21 points in all those games against the Bengals. In all those 3 years, all those 6 games they've played, allowed under 21 points. I think that's solid for the defense. Now, is the last defense to talk about here. The super sleeper, Indianapolis Colts, going up against the Raiders. 4.4% owned. They're not playing up against a good offense. That should be obvious. Derek Carr hasn't looked all that great. Week 1 against Denver, the Raiders only scored 24 points. Week 2 against Kansas City, a measly 10 points. Week 3 against Minnesota, 14 points scored. The Indianapolis defense, while may not be as good as the Minnesota Vikings, I believe is near comparable and should be a pretty solid defense start this week up against the Oakland Raiders. Knock one time if you're with me. So thank you guys all for watching. If you have you want to talk about any defense, go ahead, leave them in the comments. I will talk with you about it. We can have a nice, formal, kind discussion. Click that subscribe button while you're down there. Click that notification bell and click that like button. Have a great goddamn day. There's going to be a million more videos tomorrow, maybe even one more today, a million more this week, a million more for you to enjoy. I love you all. Goodbye.